Tehran. Chilly temperatures, a hostile crowd, a bumpy pitch. This is going to be tough for Australia, but they've got to deal with it and try and get the win that would make World Cup qualification just that little bit more straightforward with those home matches to come. And Andy Harper is with me as usual alongside in commentary today. Andy, it's an important 90 minutes ahead for Australia, and of course all the pre-match talk about this back three system.
Yeah, and for both teams, Simon. And you know, Iraq are always a dangerous opponent for the Socceroos. We've never had it easy. And with their backs against the World Cup qualifying wall, this makes today's game so much more difficult. The conditions are Spartan, to say the least. And of course, for the Socceroos to secure points out of here would be a huge fillip, as they would then set fair for Tuesday's match in Sydney.
Here's a chance for Iraq perhaps to launch the first attack. It's Durgam Ismail, who plays his club football in Turkey with Rizespor. And just looking around the Iraqis, Andy, we think we've noticed a late change for the Lions of Mesopotamia. The normal captain, Allah Abdul-Zara, doesn't appear to have started. The captain's armband has gone to Saad Abdul Amir in the midfield role, and they've included an extra defender in Ali Barjat.
Well, goodness knows what's going on there, but they're lining up with five across the back. Iraq, they'll be very nervous in one sense about the potency of Australia's speed and intensity, and a little bit of extra insurance for them, therefore, at the back.
Australia trying to get to grips with this uneven surface in the opening moments. That's a good release by Aramoy for Robbie Cruz on the right. Crosses it low and it's steered away to safety by the muscular Rebin Sulaka. Robbie Cruz finally getting some game time after joining Liao Ning Huwin in China. Marty Shanaishal, the Iraqi coach, I don't think that's him actually. He is in his third spell in charge of the Iraqi national team. If he sees it through to the end of this qualifying phase, he'll be their longest serving coach in over a decade, in which time they've gone through 17 coaches. And there is, of course, Ange Postecoglou. It's the Roos' sixth trip to the Middle East under Ange, and the record isn't that great. Reading one win against the UAE, 2 draws and a couple of losses. And it's always a tricky part of the world to come, culturally, in terms of the conditions, and of course up against the hostile crowd today, and a very tricky side in Iraq, who Ange said at the press conference, Andy, I should say, haven't really got the points that their performances or their talent deserves.
No, well, it's a real pointer to the game today, because the matches they've lost.
See how this develops. Offside flag against Amjad Khalaf.
A number of them against big hitters in this group have come late. There are 2 controversial penalties in the Saudi game. They lost that one 2-0. They were holding Japan away from home and just got hit in the 95th minute for a Japan winner. So they'll fight till the end. They've suffered from a little bit of a lack of quality in the front part of the field, which has hurt them to this point.
It's a good ball by Massimo Luongo. Robbie Cruz seeing a fair bit of the ball in these opening stages. Luongo trying to get away from Ali Adnan, back with Cruz. Throw in for the Socceroos. Plethora of umbrellas on that far side. It's been raining steadily in the Iranian capital all day, which probably won't help the pitch too much as it cuts up. That's a good ball, finding Aramoy in a little bit of space, but cross came Rebin Sulaka. Ali Barja preventing the corner. It's been a relatively positive start made by the green and gold. Only Thailand beneath Iraq in Group B as it stands. Lose today can pretty much write the Iraqis off from the qualification picture. Australia, of course, yet to be defeated in this final round of qualifying, but it's the draws that have kept them away from the automatic qualification spots, at least for the time being. Mohamed Hamid's clearance, and then Matthew Leckie's lost his bearings, and Ala Mahawi will try and advance forward. That's what the back three is set up to provide, cover in the shape of Bailey Wright.
Not necessarily for those trick turnovers there from Matthew Leckie, just make a concentration from Leckie. Great coverage from Bailey Wright.
Ahmed Abdul Rahim, who scored all 4 of those goals in Iraq's win over Thailand the last time they played at this stadium. They've tried a few different venues, of course, not able to play on home soil. Qatar, United Arab Emirates, they've settled on Tehran.
You say settled in Tehran, this is just their second qualifying match here. I mean, you can just imagine how difficult it is, and you can only admire Iraq for doing as well as they have without effectively being able to play at home for 20 years, thereabouts. They might have had 3 or 4 official matches in Iraq in that period. Talk about a nomadic existence as a national team. Really test the fibre of the individuals involved with the organisation, and we know just by watching how difficult they are to beat, just how strong they are.
Turn by Moy. Irvine. Moy, and then Luongo completes that little triangle. There's no route through towards Matthew Leckie on the near touchline, and foot was a little high from Aaron Moy. Did catch his opponents. Adi Kamil, the victim on this occasion. Perhaps a surprise inclusion in the Iraqi 11 today. Plays for the Al Shorta club. I know you love the nicknames that
Here we
players
go.
have.
Give it to us, Simon.
Here we go. He's the Iraqi Zola.
Here we go.
I think that might have something to do with his diminutive size rather than where he plays on the pitch. It says his hero is Andre Iniesta. Barjats with the free kick, the late inclusion for Iraq. Can only assume that Ala Abdul Zara is injured, or else Adi Shanaishal, Andy, got wind of the way Australia were going to play and decided to include the extra defender.
Well, I mean, the decision was made late because it didn't come through on the team sheet, so I'm sure they've had to jump through some official circles to have that ratified, and you would imagine it could only be through injury.
The diagonal, but Ala Mahawi was there. Back heel by Amjad Khalaf, and the pitch has opened up here nicely for Iraq. Mohamed Abdul Rahim on the ball. Backtracking is Miloš Degenek. It's Abdul Rahim. They just got underneath it at a crucial moment, but a warning sign perhaps for Australia.
And again, the difficulty for Australia on that occasion. Players comfortable with their footing in midfield, turnover of possession. That was a very dangerous moment. There's a free kick for the challenge from Matt Leckie. Mohanad is the player who scored 5 of Iraq's 6 goals in qualifying, and it was he who bore down on Australia's goal.
Have a little spell in the UAE with Al Nasser, back in his homeland now with Al Zawra. Most of the locals, of course, here in Tehran, glued to their televisions this afternoon. As Iran play Qatar in Doha in the other group. That is those that are left in the capital, because, of course, it is Nowruz, the Iranian New Year, so most people have gone away for this particular period. Tehran somewhat deserted. Only a thriving city of 12 million. We're told up to 10 million, Andy, have gone away.
Happy New Year to them.
Indeed. Jordan Irvine. Could be useful for Lecky, but Ala Mahawi stuck with him. Moy gets it back off Irvine. So it's promising for Australia. Back was well read by Saad Abdulamir, Iraqi captain for the day, who will sit in front of that back line along with Mahdi Kamel. Yedinak, who's performing a similar role alongside Luongo for Australia.
Yeah, just the passing, even from settled positions. I mean, it's difficult when the ball's on the move and players are on the move because of the pitch, but from settled situations like that, Yedinak misses over, hitting the pass, getting the rhythm that Ange Postecoglou would want at the moment.
Irvine backtracking and had to, really. Lecky. It's beyond Juric. Aaron Moyes picked up a whack, but he's quickly back into the action. Luongo. He's totally miscued the cross, which floats over the top. Of course, he's Jackson Irvine. I don't know why I'm calling him Jordan Irvine. Where have I got that from? Maybe because we're in the Middle East, I'm thinking of Jordan.
Oh, maybe. I wasn't going to question you, Simon, because I'm sure you would have got it from somewhere. Brilliant from Milligan. So calmly read, positioning was good.
Away by Ali Barjat. Iraq haven't beaten Australia since 2008, qualifier in Dubai that they won by the only goal. Played a few times since. Matt Mohammed with the winner on that particular day. Part of the golden generation, which is almost entirely disappeared now. The squad that won the Asian Cup a decade ago. Reserve goalkeeper Mohamed Kassid is left. Wet weather attire for all the Australian bench. It's a neat turn by Cruz, but it's been turned over by Australia. Durgam Ismail. Well stationed at the corner of the 6-yard box, too high for Juric. Back towards the Australian goal by Ahmed Ibrahim. Barjats going long, a climb by Mohamed Abdul Rahim. Durgam Ismail whipped in dangerously, it just skidded off the greasy, bouncy surface and got away from Amjad Khalaf. It up towards Juric. Holds it up well. Decent form for his Swiss side Lucerne at the moment. Tommy Juric, a few goals in recent weeks. Very much, it seems, the long-term successor to Tim Cahill in that central striking role. Threaded through nicely by Irvine, and the cross in towards Juric, and Hamid's lost sight of it for a moment, but up it popped and into his grateful arms.
That was the best rotation that the Socceroos have managed to conjure till now. Luongo carrying the ball square, looking to feed the player in a more advanced situation. Jackson Irvine had made...
Mohamed Abdul Rahim giving Milos Degenek a problem, which he deals with.
Had made the necessary run, and the next Irvine's pass to Cruz was a beauty.
There's Durgam Ismail again. A fair bit of joy down that left-hand side of Iraq, and they've got themselves a corner.
Enough shown from Iraq. They haven't dominated possession. Here's that ball in from Robbie Cruz. Rather fortunate. Mohammed Hamid. I think he would have parried that ball as it was his intention. It would have ended up at the feet of Matt Leckie, but the defender, thankfully from an Iraqi viewpoint, defended it back into the goalkeeper's hands.
So it's going to be Ali Adnan with the corner. Plays for Udinese in Italy, although not too much of late. Hasn't actually started for his side in Europe since last August. See what his corner's like. Not bad, and it was flicked towards goal. Saad Abdullamir. Australia play their way out, not quite.
Well, asks where the foul was on him. I think he's got a fair point as well. He's clearly tripped from behind. A couple of nervous moments for Australia in defence. We've seen enough from Iraq that Australia would want to be very, very wary indeed.
Just on the back-through system, Andy, how much responsibility does it give the wide players, Cruz and Leckie, defensively as much as offensively?
Well, exactly the point, Simon. And these are two players who have the athletic capacity to get up and down that flank, which is going to be a key requirement.
It's a good rotation by Iraq, and again it's Jurgam Ismail towards that near post. Always a good effort by Mohamed Abdul Rahim, and that is a fine save by Mitch Langerak. Had to get down very quickly to his left. Came at him very quickly, the Stuttgart goalkeeper. Iraq looking for the foul. Leckie on Ala Mahawi. Jung Hyok has blown the whistle. Speak to Leckie. Nothing more. So Ali Adnan again. Australian defensive line, holding a high line. Punched him behind that, and Mitch Langerak with a comfortable claim. Which is maybe one of the reasons why he's been brought in today, Andy. I don't know if you agree, but the likes of Adnan and Karloff, the two wingers for Iraq, very quick, can get in behind the defence and firing crosses for the likes of Mohamed Abdul Rahim.
It certainly would have been a consideration. You look at some of the selections of Ange Postecoglou, and one of the key considerations evidently was players who were playing. And Trent Sainsbury, because he's not playing in Italy, is for the time being at least foregone his starting position. Matt Ryan's re-energised his career with the move back to Belgium, but the whole time Langerak has been playing and playing very well for Stuttgart.
Maybe his extra height might be crucial today. And fielding some of those deliveries from Adnan and Karloff, and particularly in the early stages. Jurgam Ismail, who's got forward to really good effect from left fullback. Adnan just to dig out some space to find the cross. Like he got reasonable distance on the clearing header. Mahawi trying to recycle it. Jackson Irvine in the way.
He's working very hard, Jackson Irvine, in that midfield. It's not really sticking for him at the moment, but he's providing nuisance value. That, of course, outside of that beautiful pass that split Iraq's defence for Robbie Cruz, probably Australia's best moment.
Irvine again, and then Leckie. Sliding in was Saad Abdullamir. Leckie. It's well played by the Socceroos. Moy. There's Leckie outside him. That's the best release from Aaron Moy.
Very obvious from Aaron Moy. Very easy to read, but Positive sign for Australia was the way they moved that ball into that position in the first place. Huge credit to Irvine for that. He was the key cog in that wheel.
Wongo going down and looking quizzically at referee Kim Jong-hyuk, but nothing doing. Scored his first goal for Queen's Park Rangers this weekend. Important role to play alongside Miller Jedinak, screening that back line for Australia today. 20 minutes played in Tehran. Yeah. Have had the best chance through Mohamed Abdul Rahim. It's poor again from Moy. Most unlike him, given his current form. Manager at Huddersfield, David Wagner, rates him the best signing of the season in the Championship in England. Use of an arm or a hand by Tomi Juric, which is confirmed by a blast on the referee's whistle. And Postecoglou be happy with the way things gone at the moment?
No,
Andy?
not at the moment. The team hasn't settled. They're looking a little bit nervous, actually. The state of affairs, points required, etc., is part of it. Difficult, on top of all that, to have an opponent in your face and nipping at your heels and on a playing surface, which is making it very difficult for players to dominate.
Ibrahim, again the tall figure of Ali Adnan. It's into the path of Ahmed Khalaf, and Australia are very fortunate to get away with that last-ditch intervention at the expense of a corner. The height of Mohamed Abdul Rahim and Ali Adnan posing a few issues.
Australia haven't dealt with Abdul Rahim at all. The chief goal scorer for Iraq to this point, helped himself to 4 last start, and he's not been beaten in one contest yet. Milligan again to the rescue.
Rabin Sulaka has positioned himself at the far post. Ahmed Ibrahim around the penalty spot, being watched very closely by Bailey Wright. Jackson Irvine's got the job with Sulaka, and Mitch Langerak takes no chances. Not quite sit for Cruz as he looked to launch an Australian counter. Postecoglou throws his arms up in the air in frustration on the sidelines. Ali Barjat, meantime, again going direct. Langerak out to claim this time. Layoff by Lecky was a touch short for Jedinak, and again there's the turnover in Iraq. They've got the tails up here. Spurted out by Saad Abdul Amir towards Jurgam Ismail, and it might find its way through here for Khalaf. And he tried to dink it over Mitch Langerak when perhaps he should have gone for power, Amjad Khalaf. And that's not the first time he's been left alone on that far post. And Australia are getting repeated warnings here.
Well, this is very finishable. Mitch Langerak had covered a lot of the angles there, so congratulations to the goalkeeper. If it was he who put any doubt into the mind of Amjad Khalaf, it's a poor finish given what's at stake. And he's been in front of goal on 2 or 3 occasions, the Iraqi right winger. But the chances all coming from Iraq, and all because they're either forcing errors in midfield from Australia or accepting the openings from unforced errors in possession.
Irvine steering it in behind Alam Mahawi. Lecky, oh, he's gone down inside the box. That was a sturdy challenge from Alam Mahawi. Referee Kim Jong-hyuk was well placed, had a look at it. No appeals from Australia. Lecky now just back up rather gingerly to his feet. There is certainly solid contact from the fullback. There's Lecky. up with Moy. Right, Irvine. And Massimo Luongo. Dagenek punches it out towards Cruz. Bailey Wright. He's drawn the foul out of Amjad Khalaf. Had that chance some moments ago. Player nicknamed the Gazelle for his lightning quick pace. He's the son of a former sprinter, apparently. Dagenek turning back for Jedinak. His 69th cap today. Cruz moves it on. Juric. This looks good for Australia. Irvine. And it was tipped over really well by Mohamed Hamid. Australia's best moment in the game.
He dug it out somewhat, didn't he, in the end, Jackson Irvine? But it was a good effort from the player who in this opening period has been Australia's most reliable, most consistent, Jackson Irvine. Scored his share of goals for Burton Albion in the English Championship, and this would have opened his account as a Socceroo, forcing some very tidy work from Mohamed Hamid. Better signs for Australia.
They've got themselves their first corner, which Aaron Moy delivers deep. Mohamed Hamid, it's a good claim actually. Good goalkeeping. It's in a battle for the national jersey with Jalal Hassan. He's got the nod today. Getting a knock in the back from Milos Dagenek. Taken short, and Ali Adnan again to punch it in. Very dangerous area. Miller Jedinak sliding on the wet turf. Just managed to get enough contact on the ball to deflect it back inadvertently towards Langerak.
A very calm piece of play there from Jedinak, the Australian skipper. That really could have gone anywhere. He cushioned it as well as you could. Standing piece of play from the Australian skipper. Another nervous moment though for Australia. Ange Postecoglou agitated on the sidelines. Wants the ball moved a little bit quicker, perhaps. They'll try and break the lines with Bailey Wright, of all people. Touched by Juric and then by Irvine. Moyes not really been at his best so far. Conditions more reminiscent of a wet weekend in Wigan than Thursday in Tehran. Australia starting to find their feet, perhaps. It's a little bit heavy for Jackson Irvine. Jedinak just about good enough on that to get back to Langerak. It's careless by Milos Dagenek. Fortunately for him, so too by his opposite number. Pumped forward by Ali Barjat. Chested down by Luongo. Dug out by Mahdi Kamil. Cruz had made the run, wanted it played a little bit earlier than Mas Luongo was prepared to do. Irvine.
Lecky. Mark Milligan, who shapes as being crucial in this new system that Ange Postecoglou has introduced today. It's broken kindly here for Robbie Cruz. Can he pick out a teammate? There were three just waiting for any sort of a decent cross, and unfortunately they didn't get one.
No, he's made some good space. That last run that wasn't fed that you picked, Simon, was a very good one. And finally, as they did get the ball to break to Robbie Cruz, it's his second or third cross. Arguably his best crossing situation, but they hit the ball. They had good numbers attacking the goal too then, Australia.
Half an hour gone in Tehran. Jackson Irvine with Australia's best chance so far. Abdul Rahim with a couple at the other end. Jack Khalaf too. There's Abdul Rahim, or I thought was a little high on Jedinak.
Jeez.
Back with Moy. Lecky. Looking to attack Alamahawi. He's got around him really well. Lay off for Aaron Moy to drill it, and another good save by Mohamed Hamid. Safe pair of hands.
Well, the best moment from two players, Australian players from whom the team needs more. Matthew Lecky jinking brilliantly to make the space. And Aaron Moy's best moment, forcing some, again, excellent work from Mohamed Hamid.
Good readjustment by Luongo. Cruz. Barja facing him. Back they come through Luongo. Milligan. Moy, tightly marked by muscular Ahmed Ibrahim. So it stands in Group B in the third phase of AFC World Cup qualifying. Two other games, of course, going on today. Thailand against Saudi Arabia in Bangkok, and the UAE hosting Japan. An arm wrestle between Ibrahim and Moy. Free kick for offside in favour of Australia. Milligan, a launch one over the top of Ali Barja, the left fullback for Iraq. Didn't quite work out. Jurgen Ismail's going to try and do the same thing, and it might work out all right for Iraq. There's a push there, surely, by Mohamed Abdul Rahim. And those appeals heeded by the referee.
Well, he has been so dangerous, and that was so unnecessary, because Bailey Wright would have been in all sorts of trouble there. That's the last offside call. There's the push in the back on Bailey Wright.
2012 AFC Young Player of the Year, Mohamed Abdul Rahim. He's a big lad, and he leads the Iraqi attack really well. Gives them a very physical focal point. Iraq thought they were away there, but there was another foul on right. Lecky. There's the Australian skipper, Jedinak. Lecky just trying to help it on towards Moy, and then a miscue by Jackson Irvine, and Jurgen Ismail will race over halfway and look for that early release again. The intervention of Bailey Wright prevents it from going any further up the park. Who was holding who there? Juric thought it was Solaka on him.
I think he was slightly bumped out of the way first. Tommy Juric, here's a go.
Oh, now that's risky from Ahmed Ibrahim.
That's
He's
not
been
a foul.
helped out by Sulaka, who's gone straight through Tommy Juric, who's remained down on the deck. Play continues through Luongo, who steered it in beautifully behind for Robbie Cruz. It will be an Australian corner, but it was Tommy Juric careered into there by Revin Sulaka.
I don't know how he wasn't. The referee's the first to go and see that Tommy Juric is all right. I'm not sure if there's anything in that. Tommy Juric has the front position. That's a foul. I mean, he had no play at the ball whatsoever. It's a clear foul. Any rate, Australia rebalanced and attacked again down the right-hand side. It's been their most fertile outlet.
See if they can profit from this corner. Punched in by Moy, and again, Mohamed Hamid, whose glove work in these conditions has been excellent so far. This is Milos Degenek. Up for Juric, but safely through from Iraq's point of view to Mohamed Hamid.
That's not what's required, I don't think, from Milos Degenek. Just lobbing the ball into Tommy Juric, who's surrounded by three.
Strong work by Degenek to dispossess Mahdi Kamil.
Did very well there, though.
That's a good header, one again by Mohamed Abdul Rahim, and they could be in behind here. Strong play by Degenek, and had to be.
Yeah, two very good piece of work from Milos Degenek.
Tricky afternoon for the Socceroos, and again Iraq not scared to go long. Why would you be when you've got Abdul Rahim, who's so proficient in the air? That time floated ball by Luongo finds its mark in Matthew Leckie. Little stumble first up, back for Luongo, away from Karloff. Set up by Jedinak through right. Now Irvine. Moy. Australia work the angles well. Irvine dangerously across the face, and Ali Barjat sweeps it behind for another Australian corner.
Well, again, beautiful from Jackson Irvine. He's just ferreting away, getting the odd touch here, linking up with players, and that little feint there to open up the route to the cross was brilliant. The cross itself was brilliant, and it just needs finishing. Excellent play, Jackson Irvine. Nice combination with Aaron Moy to get that far in the first place.
Lewis corner. Oh, and that came off an Iraqi defender last, and Mohamed Hamid was rather flat-footed.
Milo Jedinak is berating himself for not following that one in, I suspect. Looked clear by the Iraq defence. Jedinak just thinking he could have been the man there to tap that in.
Maybe he will do here. Moy again, off the head of Ahmed Ibrahim this time. Juric first to react. Another corner for Australia, opposite side.
Yeah, good sustained pressure, this from Australia. They've dominated with the ball without being completely fluent. They've looked a little bit open and susceptible to the long, direct ball from Iraq, but they're just being able now to pin the home team back with this succession of corners.
The latest of which is going to come in again from Moy. Australian player scatter. Oh, and they have the lead. Brilliant header from Matthew Leckie, who got clean free of his markers and nodded home unchallenged. Fantastic set play by the Socceroos, and they lead in Tehran. And it is a rare international goal for Matthew Leckie, just his fourth for his country. Will do his confidence the world of good, Andy.
Beautiful corner from Aaron Moy. The pressure was building. Matt Leckie's good in the air. He's been denied some opportunities in his internationals from now. Good goalkeeping, etc. But that is powerful, emphatic, back of the net.
Aaron Moy's range has been a little bit off in the opening half an hour, but that was pinpoint. Nobody went with Leckie.
Beautiful header from Matthew Leckie. Well found by Aaron Moy, who thankfully, from an Australian viewpoint, is building some better form in the back end of the half.
Can Australia keep it tight at the other end of the pitch? Rather wayward centre this time from Turkham Ismail. Jackson Irvine in particular enjoying himself on his first start for his country, just his 8th cap.
He's doing very, very well indeed, Jackson Irvine. He's been, over the course of the first half, Australia's best midfielder.
Mahawi creeping down the touchline. He's blocked off at the pass there by Matthew Leckie. Leckie's protest, but Kim Jong-hyuk said that challenge by Leckie was fair. But Robbie Cruz galloping forward. Can Juric find him? He can. What a ball. It's Robbie Cruz hammied out to meet him. And the ball just got stuck between the feet of Robbie Cruz there. Otherwise, Australia was surely 2 goals to the good. They still might find a way through. Here's Moy. Breaks momentarily for Jackson Irvine. He was upended. Australian free kick. What a ball from Tommy Juric.
Well, it's brilliant play from Tommy Juric. Firstly, just to secure the possession so safely in a tight position on the near touchline. The pass to Robbie Cruz was beautiful. And just to underline the excellent work of Jackson Irvine, the anticipation to get his body into the advantage position from which the foul then came. And now Australia, having just watched Robbie Cruz denied, they're going to have a free kick centre field in a dangerous distance from goal.
Who's your money on, Andy? Millet or Aaron?
I reckon the skipper.
Remember him scoring in Australia's first qualifier for Russia 2018 in the first game away in Kyrgyzstan. Similarly, bumpy pitch. See if he can hit the same spots, or will it be Moy? The second goal just before the break would perhaps knock all the stuffing out of the Iraqis, who have posed a threat, particularly from crosses in this opening period. Lengthy delay. Now we're ready. It is Aaron Moy straight into the wall, and then Milligan with the snapshot, really nothing more. Couldn't get any power or direction. Australia have played their way into this game, a little bit nervy perhaps early on. Unfamiliar conditions, particularly in Asia. Again, that's Jackson Irvine with a really useful release, and that's no foul on Juric. Amjad Khalaf gives it straight back to the Socceroos. Leckie down the line for Moy. Tommy Juric the target, and it's behind off Rebin Sulaka.
It's much better. It's taken till now, the last few minutes, for Australia to really exert their authority. The goal from Leckie obviously helps the cause and just knocks a little bit of stuffing out of Iraq. Turning the screws again.
Let's see if Aaron Moy can repeat the trick and pick out a teammate from the corner. Leckie will surely be watched more closely this time. It's a deeper delivery towards Yedinak, nodded it down for Bailey Wright. Cruz. I'll set it up again through Luongo. Back to Moy. His attempted centre was charged down, but again, the scraps picked up by Luongo. Leckie. Australia enjoying themselves here at the moment. Tommy Juric on the turn.
Beautiful play.
That's really good stuff by the Roos.
You know, that's more like it. Dealing with the conditions, the confidence that comes with the lead, very secure receiving of the ball and intuitive early release and great turn from Tommy Urich.
And the turnovers are coming regularly now from Iraq, who seem a little bit dispirited. Ali Adnan trying to change all that. Durgam Ismail. Milligan blocking the passing lane. And we're into 1 minute of added time at the end of the first period. So far, so good, Andy Harper.
Yeah, well, a nervous start, and with the first half nearly complete, you were to expect an energetic, robust beginning from Iraq, whose confidence grew because of turnovers like this.
And that's loose from Milligan. Stacked through by Saad Abdul Amir, but too much pace on it for Amjad Khalif.
And that was the story. That little sequence was the story for the first 15, 20 minutes, 25 maybe. And Australia gradually have got the game more where they want it. Obviously, very obviously, without being safe by any means, but they're looking more like the team we've come to expect. They've seen off the early danger, and now they must refocus in this second half to secure the points.
So probably the final action of a very interesting first 45 minutes, which is confirmed. It's, wearing number 11. No changes for the Socceroos, who lead thanks to that Matthew Leckie goal, which incidentally was Australia's first goal from open play in international football in 239 minutes. The previous three, of course, all penalties dispatched by Mila Jedinak. But as that first half went on, Andy Harper, the Australians grew in confidence.
Yeah, and that was I'm sure the expectation, and they would have wanted to have less hairy moments than they did, and it took them a while to settle into possession. And that will be, I'm assuming, the emphasis of the first of the chat at half-time is to build on that from here, not to let Iraq back in, keep the pressure on them, and the template for that, the starting point for that, the foundation for that, is making sure that the ball is not turned over cheaply in midfield.
Steganek has picked up a whack on the follow-through with Durgam Ismail, which has stung the right shin of the Australian defender, now playing in Japan and for Yokohama F. Marinos. Actually plays alongside for his club, Andy, player we remember from the 2007 Asian Cup, Yuji Nakazawa, who's still going around at the age of 39.
Still going very strong.
Japan in action against the UAE today. Australia's next opponents in Sydney on Tuesday. It's a neat play by Bailey Wright. Now Jackson Irvine has been very impressive first half. It's going to run away though from Robbie Cruz.
Good effort from Irvine, unfortunately overhit. Beautiful defending from Bailey Wright to firstly dispossess and then to feed the ball into Maslawonga.
Might have been a push by Bailey Wright, that's confirmed by Kim Jong-hyuk. Just waited to see if any advantage would break from that for Iraq. Floated by Saad Abdul Amir towards Durgam Ismail. Got in some useful crosses first half, that's not bad either. Steered away to safety by Milligan. Barja looking for options from the throw, gets one from Mahdi Kamil. At the depth of the previous delivery from Durgam Ismail. Nowhere to go for Saad Abdul Amir, but back to his goalkeeper. It's his boot through it, looking for Mohamed Abdul Rahim. Durgam Ismail. Wrong footing Robbie Cruz. Abdul Amir with the crossfield ball. Ahmed Ibrahim. Mahdi Kamil. Leckie doing diligent work on that left-hand side, as is required to do in this new system introduced by Ange Postecoglou today.
Foul throw. There you go.
Well, often we see that penalised. Just a snapshot of the weather in Tehran. It's been raining steadily all day. Iraqi expat community have turned up in decent numbers to try and give their team a lift, keep them alive in World Cup qualifying. Could do Australia a favour on Tuesday. They're away to Saudi Arabia, who, as things stand, are at the top of Group B of qualifying. It's another good steal by Jackson Irvine. What about the cross? Too close to Mohamed Hamid. But he's been impressive, Irvine.
Yeah, I think it was a fantastic first half. His first 2 passes.
Now, problem here potentially for Australia. Steered it behind Mohamed Abdul Rahim, and he has butchered it. Flag was up anyway. Wouldn't have counted. He probably wasn't to know that.
No, it's just a poor touch from Iraq's most dangerous player, certainly in that first half. Australia didn't come to terms with him in the opening stanza.
Jackson Irvine losing out. Situation retrieved, or at least it should have been by Luongo, then slipped over on the greasy surface. We're at the tail end of the Iranian winter, and it certainly felt that way today. Ball just bisected Juric Moy, unfortunately from Australia's point of view. Cruz was tracking back to cover. Bailey right to utilise Mitch Langerak. Moy getting front position ahead of the substitutes, Amjad Atwan, and then flicking it through for Jedinak. Now with Juric. Cruz had to check the run and didn't do so in time, and he's frustrated.
The ball just didn't get forward fast enough. The first blockage was Mile Jedinak, actually, after winning possession and then combining to get the ball upfield. Just a little bit conservative, his last contribution. The skipper, which put the handbrake on that potential attack from the Socceroos, by which time Robbie Cruz had drifted offside.
Good perseverance by Mahdi Kamil. Trying to launch another attack here, and they've got a chance through Ala Mahawi, and he went for the cutback when really Mohamed Abdul Rahim on the top of the 6-yard box was by far the better choice. Ahmed Ibrahim. Strong challenge by Wright. Amjad Atwan throwing himself to ground, not once but twice, and still doesn't get the whistle. It's well played by Milligan. Under pressure too from Mohamed Abdul Rahim. Such a clever player, Mark Milligan, which is why Ange Postecoglou utilises him in so many different positions. Jedinak, Cruz. Jedinak, of course, has been playing at centre-back last week or two for Aston Villa. Playing in his more familiar defensive midfield role today alongside Luongo, who's got the ball here. Looking to release Cruz. Beautiful release. Well controlled too by Cruz. Aaron Moy. Cruz, Australia threatening here. Moy! Oh, and Juric couldn't deliver the final touch. So close for the Socceroos.
Oh, great attack from Australia. It's the first time they've found Robbie Cruz. The previous 2 times, the attack just stopped before it got to him. He ran offside. On one occasion, Aaron Moy, his last opportunity to release Robbie Cruz was ignored by the midfielder. Finally, Cruz is able to set up something dangerous in combination with Aaron Moy, and it probably should have been a second goal for Australia. You'd expect Aaron Moy to get a more telling touch from that situation, and he was able to deliver.
That's clever from Marty Kamil. That was Zola-esque. Swept in by Ali Barjat again. Superbly defended by Milligan. Al-Mahawi, too strong for Lecky. Likewise, Daddy Wright, but he's run out of real estate on that far side of the pitch. In front of the massive umbrellas. That's a dangerous balling. Oh, Mohamed Abdul Rahim. Craned the neck muscles at exactly the wrong moments. And the ball went in the wrong direction, and Radi Shanaishal, I can tell you, kicked the water bottle away on the sideline in frustration. And Ange Postecoglou's not best pleased either.
Oh, goodness me, what a chance. And as that ball sailed between the Australian defenders and on towards the head of Abdul Rahim, I thought for certain it was an equaliser for Iraq.
Iraq going to make a second change shortly. Meantime, Mohamed Hamid having to gobble up the ground to ensure it's stayed away from Toma Juric. Well, what a golden opportunity for the Lions of Mesopotamia. And he got it all wrong, Abdul Rahim. There is that second change being ready by Iraq. It's Ahmed Yassin. He's going to replace Ali Adnan, one of, or rather Ali Barjat, I should say. The Iraqi defenders withdrawn in favour of a more attacking player. Yassin will play on the right wing. Iraq know that they can't afford to lose this game, and Cruz has got around to the wrong side of Salaka. Ibrahim cutting out the cross and then punch forwards. Too far for Abdul Rahim from Ali Adnan.
Good situation brewing then again. Robbie Cruz released this time by Toma Juric.
There's the Australian fans. About 100 to 150 of them here today. Some expats from the Middle East. Some have flown all the way from Australia. They're getting a drenching at the moment. Their team is winning, but for how long? Iraq applying a bit of pressure here. Ali Adnan for Durgam Ismail. That's clever. And he was upended by Cruz. And in fairness to Durgam Ismail, I think he did try and keep his feet. Just wasn't able to.
He's a dangerous player, Durgan Ismail. Beautiful left foot. He slalomed magnificently. He did try to maintain balance. He realised there was a huge advantage to be gained for his country if he could have kept his feet and maintained the attack. Australia, because of the Robbie Cruz concession now, get a chance to reset themselves and will have to focus.
All about the quality of the delivery from Ali Adnan, Sulaka, Ahmed Ibrahim, two big and muscular targets. Abdul Rahim, we've seen his prowess in the air already. It's in a decent area and yet enacted enough to keep it away from Sulaka. Australia get the throw. Pressure relieved for the moment. I'm sure Ange Postecoglou will have expected this, because really it's all on this tie for the Iraqis today. If they lose, they can pretty much forget about Russia. That's why there's a bit of urgency in their play at the moment. Al-Mahawi, though, can't get around Lecky. Followed by Aramoy, but Salaka has front position ahead of Juric. Australia just need to see out this little spell of Iraqi pressure. Degenek couldn't reach it. Milligan should be able to tidy up. It's careless by Bailey Wright. Turn the ball straight back to Iraq. Fired across by Ahmed Yassin, and it's good hands by Langerak.
Very good hands from Mitch Langerak. Change time from Australia. Brad Smith readying himself.
Maybe for Lecky. We shall see. Jackson Irvine. Right. Massimo Luongo beaten by perhaps a bobble on the pitch. Credit to him. Didn't get back well to atone for that little mistake.
Yeah, great recovery from Mas Luongo, who was clean bowled. His middle stump is still flying out the stadium. Lifted his head just at the wrong moment, but recovered brilliantly.
Abdul Amir making good progress. Sends it wide for Ali Adnan. Sliding in was Degenek. Another corner.
Backed himself there. Milos Degenek was a little fortunate, really. Ali Adnan, the Udinese man, had anticipated the sliding challenge from Degenek and therefore looked to just cut inside him. He might come up with the touch to beat Degenek, and the corner conceded.
Australia just holding off on the change for the moment. An hour played in Tehran. Iraq trying to ask a few questions. Durgam Ismail with the corner. Oh, and that was a great save by Langerak to deny Ahmed Ibrahim. Must have seen it late, but got down terrifically well low to his left. He keeps Australia's advantage for now. Allah Mahawi. Deep for Ali Adnan, the knockdown, and Ahmed Ibrahim again. They get a corner off Aaron Moy.
Well, good pressure this from Iraq. Expect them to go away without a fight. This is his second outstanding save. The Thierry Tiger denying the Lions of Mesopotamia an equaliser here at the PUS Stadium. That's a superb save from Mitch Langerak.
Strong left hand, diverting the ball away. More work to do here, though, for the Australian defenders. Durgam Ismail again, flatter this time. Another corner, this time off Juric. Australia trying to hold their focus. It's not particularly well dealt with, but Tommy Juric will just put the size 9 through it, get it upfield, and relieve the pressure for the moment. Moy's done well. And now the change for Australia. It's going to be Robbie Cruz. So you'd imagine Matt Leckie would shift over to that right wing position with Brad Smith on the left. Not getting a lot of game time, as has been well documented for AFC Bournemouth, but he's never really let Australia down. He's perhaps counted himself a little bit unfortunate to not be in the starting 11 today. Abdul Amir finding the gap. And Durgam Ismail again, turning Leckie this way and that. By Ali Adnan. Where does the loose ball drop? Smith quickly involved in the action, scoops it out for a throw.
This is a fabulous little resurgence from Iraq. The game, in one sense, Simon, is really going to script. I mean, they were always going to fight for their World Cup lives, and they're putting on a great show.
Right back pedalling again. Australia not really able to get it upfield. Milligan does get it out of play for another throw. Quickly taken by Allah Mahawi. Fullback darts in field, more in the way. Now Luongo, and Australia perhaps will look to break through Jackson Irvine on the left. Luongo. Brad Smith driving forward with purpose. Steadied down by Jedinak, laid off by Irvine. Lecky. Still the scorer of the game's only goal. Into the box for Irvine. This is neat build-up play by Australia. Aaron Moy! Oh! And it was deflected behind. And that was the sort of range where we've seen Aaron Moy burst the net from plenty of occasions before.
Well, without the deflection, I suspect it would have been the case again there. A beautiful build-up from Australia. Players finding teammates in good touch. They have, in difficult circumstances, had some terrific attacking moments. The Socceroos here this evening.
Moy with the corner. And it's evaded the grasp of goalkeeper Mohamed Hamid for once, but Kim Jong-hyuk has spotted an infringement on the Iraqi goalkeeper.
A bit of dirt in the eye maybe for Ahmed Ibrahim. Is an outstanding player. He took his place in the pre-game press conference yesterday, stand-in skipper or whatever, but the steely glare, composed answers, very, very committed in word and, as we've seen, in deed.
Very nearly, of course, grabbed an equaliser for Iraq, but for Mitch Langerak's work. Just under 25 minutes to go. Win in Tehran will be a huge boost for Australia with 3 home games to come. Interspersed in that little lot, of course, is also a trip to Japan. It's at the end of August. Daily Wright's not in any particular hurry. Trying to slow the momentum of Iraq, but here they come again. It's a timely challenge by Luongo this time, and then Lecky pumps it upfield. Rebin Sulaka. That's totally wrong footing. Durgam Ismail. Scrapping by Moy. Lecky. Jackson Irvine furthest forward at the moment, with Juric dropping off to link up this particular attack. Miller Jedinak's played the ball out, so Durgam Ismail can get some attention. Chance for Andy Harper to assess really the opening 22 minutes of the second half, which has been a bit of a test for Australia.
Well, it's been a really good contest. So, I mean, Australia have threatened Iraq's goal. They've had some very, very good moments in attack. But equally, Iraq have refused to die in this match, and they've put Australia's goal under enormous pressure. And the bare fact of the matter is, were it not for Mitch Langerak, they'd at least have one goal. He's made 2 fabulous saves.
Socceroos fans braving the cold and the wet. The ball by Lecky. Irvine returns it. Lecky's pace will get him there ahead of the defender, and his teammates just weren't perhaps alive enough to that possibility.
Oh, they were expecting him to shoot himself. He'd cut his way into the penalty area beautifully, Matthew Lecky.
Smart play by Moy as well, but Ismail, who's okay now, is stuck with him. Attempted clearance, hit the back of Lecky, which favours the visitors. but only briefly. Just 2 wins on the road for Australia. The last 6 outside Australia. It's against the United Arab Emirates, of course, courtesy of Tim Cahill, and an easy win in Bangladesh. So far, they're set fair for 3 points in Tehran. Milligan being hassled by Mohamed Abdul Rahim. If you are just tuning in, lost his regular strike partner in Allah Abdul Zara late on, we think to an injury. He's not listed even on the subs bench.
Yeah, he's had a big impact on the Iraqi team, Allah Abdul Zara. It's a big loss for them.
Nicely measured by Mitch Langerak. First cap since March 2015 for the Stuttgart goalkeeper. You might remember he was actually sent off against Ecuador. Irvine and Smith quite have the chemistry as yet. Turned over at midfield by the Australians. Mohamed Abdul Rahim. Outside him is Ahmed Yassin, but he's overcooked it. Might remember Ahmed Yassin. Scored a couple of goals in the Asian Cup in Australia back in 2015, both in Canberra. And there's a sight to gladden the hearts, perhaps, of Socceroos fans back home. Tim Cahill being readied. About to come on and match Brett Emerton's total of 95 international caps. Ball's gone out. Ali Adnan doesn't agree. So it's going to be Cahill for Juric. And who bet against, Andy? Timmy Cahill coming on and pinching a goal, as he so often does in these sorts of situations.
Certainly not me.
Tommy Juric has toiled hard. He had a couple of good opportunities in the first half. He takes his leave. And on comes Australia's record goal scorer, just 2 shy now of a half-century at international level. He has scored a goal every calendar year since making his debut for his country back in 2004. Still a bit to do here for the Roos. Forward by Ahmed Ibrahim, too much pace on it. Iraq are going to make their third and final change shortly, and Australia have just brought on their best goal scorer, and Iraq are about to introduce statistically theirs, certainly over the last 12 months. Here he is, Hamadi Ahmed, to replace Mahdi Kamil. Hamadi Ahmed, scorer of 16 goals in the AFC Cup last year. It's the second-tier competition behind the Champions League, won by his club, Al-Quwa Al-Jawiya, which was enough to get him second place in the AFC Player of the Year award behind Omar Abdul Rahman, who, of course, will see in Sydney on Tuesday with the UAE. Recalled to the national squad, Hamadi Ahmed. Could he provide an equaliser for Radi Shanaishal? Obstruction by Massimo Luongo. Free kick Iraq. Confirmation of that change. So Iraq have emptied their bench. Schmel try and find that little corridor of uncertainty to worry the Australians. Up in the air by Miloš Degenek, and he goes for the follow-up. Oh, did that glance off the hands? It might have done, you know. Iraq appeal. Kim Jong-hyuk is unmoved, but I think that struck the arm of Miloš Degenek. Maybe deemed as being not deliberate. It's certainly worth a shout from Iraq's perspective. He totally mistimed the follow-up header. And Iraq thought they should have had a spot kick. Oh, Luongo blatantly body checked by Rebin Sulaka, who becomes the first name into Kim Jong-hyuk's notebook.
We're drawing the foul there, Mas Luongo, but I'm with you. I thought that was a handball too.
Certainly off the arm.
And I think that should be a penalty for Iraq. He's made no contact. The Iraqi players all saw it. You saw it, Simon. It was my inclination as well. The replay, I think, is confirmed. Bullet dodged.
Good header by Ali Adnan. He's quickly back in position to get the return. The cross is awkward, should be an equaliser, it is. Ahmed Yassin with 15 minutes to go. And the Socceroos have been caught out at the back. Lovely delivery from Ali Adnan, and the substitute Ahmed Yassin did the rest.
Well, it's a very good finish. Difficult circumstances, very tidy. Ahmed Yassin at the far post. Milligan drawn out of the centre, couldn't win the ball in the challenge on the left-hand side.
Well, just when you thought that Australia had weathered that particular storm, Hamadi Ahmed's offside, doesn't know it yet. Back came Iraq. And what a super ball in, you have to say, from Ali Adnan.
Yeah, good look, they've been good for a goal, Iraq. Here's the ball from Ali Adnan. Langerak can't cut it out. With Yassin, beautiful touch, but the damage was done. Milligan coming out to add an extra number. Couldn't get the better of Ali Adnan.
Could Langerak have got there? Had he gone full tilt for it? Seemed to be a little bit of hesitation, understandably so. The quality of the ball in was superb from Ali Adnan. Now an even bigger test for Australia. Lucky leaning into his man, Durgam Ismail. Socceroos set for a fourth consecutive draw. Fencing, they might be able to win it. Adnan causing problems again down that left flank.
Well, they're going to push and push hard. Iraq, a draw is not really of much use to them. They have to win the game. They're putting Australia under a lot of pressure, have done on various occasions through this second half. But as they push forward, you'd have to imagine there might be a gap or two opening up for Australia. That's got to be a foul.
Durgam Ismail completely cleaning up Matthew Leckie. Mitch Postecoglou asking where the yellow card is.
Well, he's spoiling for a fight. And Ismail, the referees had to invite him away from Matthew Leckie. Number 15 for Iraq was bent over. Lecky, he now shakes hands, but Jedinak was moved to get involved and lay down a bit of the law.
Yeah, the captain protecting his flock.
Well, this is going to be an enormous test from here on for Australia, if it wasn't already. With half a sniff of victory, Iraq will go for it.
Saad Abdul Amir again trying to search out Ali Adnan. That's going to get away from him on that time. Gets it up towards Cahill. Australia need a bit of time in possession, really. Can't get it through Moy. Pumped forward by Salaka. Oh, and then Milligan and Mohamed Abdul Rahim in a collision.
Well, he was offside.
Was it accidental? Iraq are furious. They believe that Mohamed Abdul Rahim was through. I think there was too much pace on the ball for that to be reality. Whether they just collided with each other. This replay that'll hopefully come up in a few seconds will be instructive.
I thought Abdul Rahim was offside initially.
Yellow card for Milligan.
I don't think that's been kind to Australia at all. I thought Abdul Rahim was offside to start with and attracted the contact from there. And again, the pressure builds for Australia. A dickens of a job to get out of this one from here.
10 minutes to go. If Iraq were to steal a winner, they would be just 3 points behind Australia in Group B of qualifying. The UAE may overtake the Roos into third. They can beat Japan, big if, of course. It's optimistic, wildly so, from Ali Adnan. They are fighters, aren't they, Iraq, as we've seen in the past against Australia. Never an easy game. Postecoglou's going to clear his bench shortly. James Troisi is ready to come on. Time Milligan now on a yellow card. Good work by him. Lecky outside of the boot for Moy. What about the cross? Rabin Salaka in the road. Iraq get the throw. Here's the change for Australia. Jackson Irvine's first start for his country is going to be brought to a premature close. Chance for James Troisi to try and replicate some of his A-League form that he's shown with Melbourne Victory.
I could do with one of the Troisi finishes from here off the bench. It was a fabulous game from Jackson Irvine.
There's Lecky.
Just look at the tenacity of the Iraqi coverage. Pressurising every Australian who's in possession, they're throwing their bodies literally. We've come to expect it.
Referee just sorting out the usual shenanigans going on between Kale and Ahmed Ibrahim in this particular instance. Australia worked it well. Matthew Lecky inside the box. He was trying to lay it off for his teammate Troisi in the mistaken belief that he'd continued his run towards the byline. There's the score as it stands. Australia have drawn their last 3 qualifiers. Again, the Asian champions being held. Agricultural hit forward from Ahmed Ibrahim, but it's gained them good field position off Bailey Wright. Strong play by Brad Smith. Heavy off the body of Tim Cahill. Loops up in the air. Troisi strong in the challenge on Ala Mahawi. Breaks kindly for Luongo, and then Moy. Chance for Brad Smith to stretch his legs and try and pick out Timmy Cahill, as he did in Abu Dhabi a couple of months back. Quite the same quality on the cross.
No, good opening forged by Australia. It's exactly where you want Brad Smith to be getting the ball, certainly at this stage of the game, but really in general terms. And he does hit a beautiful cross from those situations normally. A little bit rusty, perhaps.
Knocked down in the direction of Hamadi Ahmed. Miloš Degenek, diligent. On by Hamadi Ahmed. Nowhere to go for Milligan. Back out. These are tense moments for Australia, who led for so long thanks to Matthew Leckie. Cross deflected in towards Hamadi Ahmed, who let it run. Mohamed Abdul Rahim trying to dig it out. Only partly away by Australia. It's all hands on deck before it's pumped up towards the halfway line by Bailey Wright. James Troisi, all stayed in. He gets the better of Ali Adnan. Can he thread it through here for Aaron Moy? He'll help it on one more for Brad Smith. Brad Smith.
Oh, brilliant from Troisi to make anything of that. As the chance opened up for Brad Smith, fed as he was by the first-time touch of Aaron Moy. It would have been, I'm sure, a collective feeling by those watching for Smith to try and hit that on goal first time.
It's got a tough assignment, as we knew it would be. 4 minutes of normal time to play. Milligan couldn't make it. Hamadi Ahmed. Here come Iraq again. Mohamed Abdul Rahim. Jedinak is back there to help out. With the acrobatics, and again they push. Mohamed Abdul Rahim. Degenek trying to stick with him. Australia trying to block off all the passing lanes. Almost squeezed through by Hamadi Ahmed. And it's like the Keystone Cops back there for a second or two for Australia, and somehow they survive. Hearts in mouths all the way back down under, I'd wager. They've got away with it, and now they're up the other end with Brad Smith. Can Australia pinch a winner? Always offside.
What about that for a flurry? That's amazing perseverance and quality too from Iraq. Abdul Rahman there again, Hamadi Ahmed. Mitch Langerak not being able to really make a play at the ball, just swatting, defenders throwing legs at the ball. Wow, what a moment. What a tense moment for Australia.
More to come, no offside flag. It's Hamadi Ahmed to square it up, and Jedinak was there to sweep away. Boy, these are tense and testing moments for the Socceroos. Closing stages in Tehran. And Iraq pressing. It's Durgam Ismail. Australia look tired all of a sudden. Degenek's there. Corner Iraq.
Oh, what a brilliant surge. Really, what a brilliant surge. World Cup qualifying, the white heat of World Cup qualifying. Australia under the blowtorch. Standing resolute till now, but they are watching the full force of an Iraqi comeback.
Durgam Ismail's corner. Punched away by Langerak. And the ball had already crossed the byline. Relief for the green and gold. Given the circumstances of this second half in particular, Andy, Australia sign off on a point. I think it's a good result.
Well, the way the last few minutes have gone, for sure. Just incredible appetite, so much character. From Iraq, Australia not good enough to put them away till this point.
Cahill
wins a corner. From one such scenario, Australia's goal came in the first half. Moy to Lecky to give them the lead. Moy strides out to take this corner.
We're into the final minutes of the 90 now. Cahill, of course, a potential target. Jedinak too. Can Moy find the same quality as he did for Matthew Lecky in the first half? Hamid's come a long way. Got a good fist on the ball. Back in by Milligan. Goalkeeper's out of his goal and it's cleared off the line. Australia were that close to pinching it. Still might. Jedinak couldn't tee up a teammate and Hamidi Ahmed thumps it forward and Deganek has got to be mindful of Mohamed Abdul Rahim. Well, what a finish we've had here in Tehran at both ends. Ahmed Yassin, whose goal has given Iraq a share of the spoils as it stands. It's not where he wanted that to be released, and Brad Smith just too strong for Ala Mahawi. Troisi, he's lost out. 3 minutes of stoppage time to be played. And the bobble is done for Iraq in the centre of the park. Wongo will sweep it out towards Lecky. Jedinak. Out for Smith. Troisi. Intention was for Aramoy, I think. Milligan's cushioned header, then Jedinak. Laid off by Troisi, Luongo. It's better football by Australia, and they try and thread it through for the onrushing Brad Smith. Salaka is there for Iraq.
Oh, good composure. Australia really rattled those last series of attacks from Iraq. Australia have composed themselves. Can they create one final chance in front of goal? Mohammed Hamid in the Iraq goal hasn't really been tested. He's been under pressure without actually having to save. But can Australia change that from this point on? One more time. In the meantime, they've got to make sure Iraq don't sting them.
Wongo makes doubly sure on that particular occasion. Well, it's been one heck of a second half. Iraq fighting as though their World Cup lives depend on it, which of course they pretty much do. Australia got one final attack left. Smith to tee up Cahill, the back heel. Luongo, shift of the hips to get around Ala Mahawi. Stabs it in with the outside of the right boots. Hamid claims and will look to launch it long. Not the quality he required, nor his team. Good maneuver though by Mohamed Abdul Rahim, still full of running. Moy, cheap turnover. Australia don't need that. Ahmed Yassin and a 50-50 ball with Bailey Wright, who's been strong and done really well.
Brilliant from Bailey Wright.
And away races Brad Smith. Cahill waiting in the middle, and he went along the deck instead for Troisi, and Ange Postecoglou holds his head in his hands, and that's a great header won by Ali Adnan. Fortunately for the Roos, Milligan is there to provide cover. Well, this really could have gone either way, and still might. We're short on time. This might be the last attack. This is Hamidi Ahmed. Can't be offside from a throw, of course. It's Ali Adnan. Last chance perhaps for Iraq. Jedinak in the way. Australia survive. Jedinak got around Amjad Atwan, but illegally so, and the whistle goes.